Transactions not regarded as a transfer. And this is first of the few slides where we will be discussing this concept. So first let us understand what is the meaning of this and what is the relevance of this. I told you in the previous slide that in order that a particular transaction of two persons or any gain derived from one of them from transfer is taxable. This means that in order to tax an income under the head capital gain, there has to be a transfer. And when I say transfer, transfer within the meaning of Income Tax Act. But in some cases, what will happen is that even though there is a transfer, right, even though under normal circumstances, there should be capital gain, but there are certain exemptions, if I may call it, which are given. What is meant by this is that in these cases, even though there are transfer, there should be capital gain. These are not charged to tax because the law says we will not treat this as transfer. This concept of transfer is basically, if you see, mainly in those cases where, it's actually not a capital gain which happens. When I say a capital gain does not happen, it means that, let's say for example, I'll give you a very crude example. If suppose a person has two pockets, okay, from one pocket he shifts rupees 10 to the other. Is there some kind of a gain that he makes when he does this? The answer is no, right? The cases where, the law deems that there is no transfer are also somewhat similar, though not exactly the same. So therefore, we will now see cases which are not regarded as transfer. By implication, it means that there is no capital gain in all these cases. Let's see the first one. Partition of a Hindu undivided family, or HUF as we call it. Right? Now we know an HUF comprises of various members. Okay? Also known as co-parceners, or maybe the Karta and others so much. An HUF may contain various assets. Okay? Now what happens is, HUF is nothing but kind of a accumulation of all these people. When there is a partition of HUF, when I say partition, this means that, let's say, one or more of the co-parcener or maybe the Karta himself says, I am no longer interested in being a part of this. I will move out. Give me my share of assets. So if there is a total partition, obviously all these assets are going to be distributed among various co-parceners and Karta. Right? But if there is a partial partition, which means that, let's say, out of 4 members, one said, I want to go out. So we gave him one of these assets. Right? So on total or partial partition of the HUF, the distribution of capital asset is not chargeable to income tax. Any distribution of capital asset belonging to the HUF on total or partial partition of an HUF is not regarded as a transfer. Which means what? If the HUF is owning some assets which it transfers to its members on partition, the HUF will not pay any capital gains tax because this transaction is not regarded as a transfer. Similarly, transfer of a capital asset under a gift, right? So let's say there are two people, A and B. A gifts something to B, okay, or a will or an irrevocable trust. So on this gift, A is not going to be charged to any tax, no tax on A. Similarly, if A is the father, B is the son, A leaves all his assets behind after he expires, that under the will B will get it, then also there is no tax because the movement is happening under the will. Or an irrevocable trust. Now irrevocable trust, I know you might be aware of this, but still an irrevocable trust is like, a trust is an independent organization or an independent entity. Let's say there is a person A, he transfers some assets to the trust, and the beneficiaries of transfer are family members of A. So the idea behind these transfer is, commercially I'm talking about, is that let's say for example, if there is one house property, okay, now, and all the family members of A, let's say there were 5 of them, they cannot enjoy the benefit of this independently. So if you distribute the family house property, it will become a waste. So what A does instead is it transfers it to a trust and all these people become beneficiary. So when A transfers a capital asset to the trust, it is not chargeable to tax where this trust is an irrevocable trust. Means what? Means tomorrow A cannot come back and say, give me this asset back. Right? So transfer of a capital asset in such a case to an irrevocable trust is not chargeable to capital gains tax. However, this condition is not applicable in case of transfer under a gift or a will or an irrevocable trust of shares, debentures or warrants allotted by a company to its employee under ESOP plan or scheme in accordance with the guidelines issued by the central government. Now what this simply means is that if there are any ESOPs or employee stock options which are given by one company, okay, which could be shares, debentures or warrant, which are given to an individual, and he transfers these ESOPs under a gift or a will or an irrevocable trust, that is not going to be exempt from the definition of transfer and hence will be chargeable to income tax. Okay, so if you're given a question that A has asset, let's say land, which he gifts to B, this means what? The gift is not taxable in hands of A under the head capital gains. Of course, if B is not a relative, he is liable to pay tax on this. For that you will be reading chapter from income from other sources, section 56. There we will deal with the fact how it's this tax in the hands of B. But from A's perspective, this is not going to be chargeable to tax unless instead of asset you are given that these are ESOPs. Then it becomes taxable.